On Saturday, March 7, participants in a grand gathering in Berlin marking International Women's Day entitled "For Tolerance and Equality Against Fundamentalism and Misogyny" underscored the advancement of equality in today's world has come face to face with a formidable barrier in Islamic fundamentalism. This phenomenon is endangering the entire Middle East and the world through genocide, terrorism, and discrimination, and more than anything else is hostile towards women. Speakers stipulated the sole solution to this crisis is to draw on women's power and on a resistance movement that believes in women's power and their leadership. They also called for a comprehensive strategy focusing on the Iranian regime as the epicenter of Islamic fundamentalism, supporting democratic Muslims, and preventing Tehran from acquiring nuclear weapons. This rally, with Mrs. Maryam Rajavi, President-elect of the Iranian resistance, as the keynote speaker, was held with the participation of a large number of prominent political, social, and artistic dignitaries and human and women's rights activists from across the world's 5 continents, including Kim Campbell, Rita Zusmoth, Linda Chavez, Frances Townsend, Ingrid Betancourt, as well as a delegation of women jurists including Maria Candida Almeida, Portuguese General Prosecutor, a delegation from the Syrian opposition, a delegation of prominent women from Asia, a large delegation of legislators and mayors and other German dignitaries, a delegation of Arab women MPs, delegations representing dozens of Iranian women associations and institutions throughout Europe and the United States, and thousands of women from various countries and followers of different religions. In this conference, Mrs. Maryam Rajavi said the key decisive factor in the growth of fundamentalists was the reactionary mullahs' rise to power in Iran, for the first time presenting a model of governance by fundamentalist groups. She added, "Fundamentalism is not a face-off between Islam and the West, nor a confrontation between Islam and Christianity and Judaism, or a Shia and Sunni conflict. The root of the conflict lies between freedom against subjugation and dictatorship, between equality on the one hand and tyranny and misogyny on the other. Fundamentalism has placed misogyny at its core, and through suppressing women, it intimidates and suppresses the entire society." To save the world from the nightmare of fundamentalism and for the emancipation of Middle East nations from this ominous phenomenon, she called on all noble women throughout the world to form and expand a powerful front against Islamic fundamentalism, terrorism, and barbarity in the name of Islam. She said, "To reign in Islamic fundamentalism, one must confront the religious dictatorship ruling Iran. This regime is at the heart of the problem, and its support for the Assad and Maliki dictatorships in Syria and Iraq has led to the rise of fundamentalist militias and ISIS. As such, silence in face of the regime's meddling in regional countries, let alone collaborating with it on the pretense of fighting ISIS, is an enormous strategic mistake." She warned it is delusional to ask the arsonists to put out the fire. On the contrary, the correct policy is to evict the mullahs' regime from Iraq and Syria. Bringing down this regime is an essential imperative not just for the Iranian people, but for the region and the world. The crime of the appeasement by Western governments is that they have chosen the path of conciliation with Tehran as the state sponsor of fundamentalism, and have participated in clamping down on the alternative to fundamentalism, she continued. Silence and inaction in the face of gross human rights violations in Iran not only embolden this regime to carry on with its atrocities, but encourages the mullahs in pursuing their nuclear aspirations and exporting terrorism. Maryam Rajavi called for supporting the Iranian resistance as the democratic alternative that has been established against the clerical regime in over 3 decades, as an essential step in confronting fundamentalism. In her finishing statements, President-elect of the Iranian resistance said, "The largest movement of women vanguards in Camp Liberty gives hope and aspiration to Iranian women and is an asset to equality movements across the globe." She called on the international community, the US government, the European Union, and the United Nations to guarantee their protection and security.